What about truth? What is truth? So are you truthful? Or is truth relative? So maybe my truth is not the same as your truth because I'm coming from a different perspective, right? And you coming from a different perspective. So you might see, I see a truth from my perspective. I'm from South Africa, so that flavors something. I'm Italian, that flavors my truth. What about you? How does you see truth? Do you see truth as relative to you, or are you willing to listen to other people's truths? Well, let's see what Dino thinks about this one.
Wow. Hey,
Carina,
how you doing?
Hey, Dino, how you doing?
Good. You lost me on the truth thing. That's like never telling a lie, or where are you going with this one?
Okay, so truth. So maybe a truth is like being, well, it's about having your truth, right? So you are Dino, and you have you're Dino, right? And Dino has a whole lot of things within him, right? How do you present yourself to the world? So are you truthful in the way you present yourself to the world? Am I truthful the way I present myself to the world? So I present myself to the world like I am now, right? I am like that to you, to everybody else. But do I wear masks, or do you wear masks when maybe you in a relationship, or when you're having coffee with a friend, as opposed to coffee or having a Zoom call with a possible client? Or are you different here when we have this conversation, and then you have another conversation with one of your other business partners, and it's a different Dino? What does truth mean to you?
Yeah. Okay. So now I get what you're talking about. It's not about fibbing, but maybe it is a little bit. So I got bad news for you. I'm not going to tell you a lie. Yes, this is Dino on and off the camera all the time, almost 24 hours a day now. Thank you very much. But it's just such a thrilling ride. I don't know. I don't need sleep. It's just I'm weird. Here's the thing. A lot of
that sounds, you know what some people, okay, 1 minute, sorry. I'm just going to divert for 1 minute, okay? You know what some people, you know what some people say about lack of sleep, people who don't need sleep, right? They're superhuman.
No. Yeah, okay. That's another show. I just think that there's just a driving force that's really, I'm enjoying the ride. And, like all good rides, there's going to be bad moments, but right now it's just such a great ride. I love it. So, okay. So back to what you're saying about truths. I'm only going to talk about me because I don't sit with people with coffee and stuff like that. I was never that kind of guy.
Okay.
But, it'd be nice to sit with coffee for somebody. But anyway, that's something. But in the beginning of my career, obviously when you go in, you get plunged into the world, the business world, the real world, accolades are important, and you want to tout them as much as possible because in your head, what you're thinking is that gives you credibility, and it does to some point, right? I have a bachelor's in science. I have a major in liberal arts or whatever it is. That's important. People hang diplomas on their walls. That's important. In resume writing, you're going to put down. You're not going to put down, well, I love potato chips and I love watching TV.
No,
Jerry
of course
Springer,
not.
Jerry. No,
Right.
but yeah, you are the father. Who's that one? That's Maury. No, but I
90-day fiance. Okay, sorry.
Oh, don't get me started with that one. You know what? I cannot believe what I'm watching. Anyway, that's another show. You're never going to write a bad resume to give to a potential employer or somebody that you want to maybe partner up and collaborate. You're always going to put your best self in there.
Right.
So, are you telling the whole story? No, but you're taking a snippet of your best self or what you believe is your best self for somebody to see, right? That's in resume.
Right.
Let's talk about the social posts, which I'm not an expert, but I'm getting better and better, and I'm learning so much each day. This is a lot of fun. But so you got your Twitter and you got your Facebook and you got your Instagram, and I know there's a whole bunch of other ones, but I'm an old man, so let's just talk about those three. Most people don't post how they look when they wake up first thing in the morning.
Right.
They're going to post a polished, fresh look. They're going to post something that is beautiful. They're going to try and post somewhere that is exciting, right? That's interesting. So they're posting basically their best self or their best image.
Okay. Yes.
Now carry that over, right? There's some of us, me included, that it took over 50 years for me to decide to expose my story or myself 24/7. A lot of people will never do that. That doesn't make them bad people.
Takes a lot of courage to do that.
Well, it's not, it does take courage unless you know or finally realize that your gift, your job, your mission is to inspire. That's my purpose. It's to inspire, to motivate, to just place a single little touch of hope and just watch the ripple effects of the waves going on. And there's just so many cool stories I could give you about that have been happening lately. It's not me, but I just figured that if that's what I'm supposed to do, then people need to see all of me all of the time. Okay. The cool thing is that when you're doing something you love and when you're doing something with so much conviction and purpose, you're not putting on an act 24/7. I could be tired and not want to take a call, but as soon as I say hello, it's just something takes over, and all of a sudden it's just I'm engaged and I listen and I feel, and it's just a really cool thing. But you got to love what you do. So, again, so let's go back. For most people starting out in a career, starting out in the real world, in business and interaction with people, they're going to do that. It doesn't mean they're liars, but they're going to post and show their best self. Here's my resume. Here are my accolades. Here's this, here's that. And I did that for the longest time. Even when I invented Bug Band, okay? And I was in all these things and all these magazines and interviews and all that. I'm just like, I can't believe it. I'm famous, because it's the first time. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie, but it's pretty freaking cool to be in People magazine. I got to tell you, okay?
Must be right.
No, it's tremendous. I mean, I couldn't go. I'm like, are you sure? I'm in the magazine where they have Gianni Versace when he got murdered in Miami. And I know that's sad, but in my head, I was like, wow, I'm in this article. That's forever going to be,
associated. You can't be forgotten, right?
I mean, how grim is that? Where you're like, oh my God, he died, and my article is in the that's bad, really bad. But I'm being honest about it. So let's fast forward life after Bug Band. Bug Band ended. I was at a crossroad, which happens a lot in everybody's life. And I'm thinking about the next thing that I want to get involved in, right? So you start getting involved in the next thing. And up until the time that next thing becomes successful or it takes off or it fulfills you in some way, I found that I still describe myself as the Bug Band guy.
Yeah.
For maybe 2, maybe 3 years after Bug Band, the way I would introduce myself is not, here's what I'm doing now. It would be, hi, I'm the guy, I invented Bug Band and I did this, and I was in People magazine, I was in Cranes, I was in Forbes, and you may have seen me on Oprah. Oh, and now I'm doing this. And after a while, I stopped and I'm like, why the hell am I doing that? Why am I defining myself by my past accomplishments? define yourself with your current accomplishments. It's just a weird mindset. But if you always talk about what you did, then you'll never blossom what you're doing now. At least that's how I look at it.
Right.
People get on a Zoom call or they're on the phone with me, and I know they don't mean this, but they'll say, well, let me give you my background. I don't care. Not because it's not important. I'm sure it's important to them, but I care about the person now that I'm talking to. And I care about what they're doing now, not what they did. Because everybody changes, everybody evolves, everybody reinvents, okay? So I don't know if that answered your question, to be honest with you. But, that's where my mind, that's where it took when you presented it. It's because we rely on facades more so early in our lives, hopefully early in our lives, than we do later on in life. And I think later on in life, it'd be nice to think that everybody's where they're supposed to be. That's not true. I got to believe that a lot of people are where they're supposed to be. But you talk about your accomplishments, your past accomplishments less as you age and as you gain wisdom and experience, because the confidence, you know who you are. You're this way. You look this way. You act this way. You do a certain thing. You perform a function. You perform whatever you do in society. And you're so comfortable in your skin. You don't have to explain yourself to people. You don't have to justify what you're doing as much when you get older. Okay. And so it's a beautiful way to approach all things when you're comfortable in your own skin. Give you an example. I just ended a call, and it was with this amazing woman who comes with a lot of accolades, a lot of past accomplishments. And, in her own right, she's very famous. But when I approached the call, my goal wasn't to outshine her. It's that Hollywood mentality. Anybody who's going, and now you're in California, anybody who wants to see superficial, and I'm not saying it for everybody, but I'm sorry, this is my opinion, I could say it. Who wants to see superficial, go to Hollywood and spend a week there. Yes, of course. Sit and watch what people do. Interaction with them is talking about what they did and who they know. Interaction with them is, I know the same people or better people than you know. I've been in these movies, and I did this commercial, and let me tell you what this is. And that's nice. I get it. I mean, if it's all promoting, you're promoting yourself because you obviously, the more people that know you, the more marketable you are and the more parts you get. I get that part. But it is a very superficial world when you can't turn it off. It's on 24/7. Right. So imagine if I took this call with this lady who's famous in her own right, and my mission was to out-fame her, if that's a word. Oh, you did this? Well, I did this. Oh, you know this person? Pointless. I think I know this person too. I didn't do any of that. I'm just like, look, I'm calling you. I'm in my house. The reason I'm home is because I'm an electrical lighting freak, and I got the electricians here today. They're lighting up my house because I love light. I was honest. I'm not in an office. I'm not talking to you. Let me put you on hold. I was just being very, very upfront with her. And it makes for such a more relaxed conversation where anything's possible. Yes. You know what I mean? The more comfortable you are talking to somebody, the more synergy you feel with somebody. And the more people open up as well and are more honest with you and with themselves, if you have that connection, right?
And that's what you
Right.
want. You want to get past all the facades. You want to get past all the masks to get to where she is, so that you can connect and make the deal or collaborate or do whatever you need to do. In any, it's not only in business, it's in any relationship connotation, right?
Yeah, of course. And, and again, you said to make the deal or collaborate. What if you didn't have any preconceived notion of even a deal or collaboration? It was just that you said you'd call this person and whatever's on their mind, we'll talk about. It could just be like, hey, you know what?
Yes.
Here's what I'm feeling, or I have a question for you. It could turn into collaboration. It could turn into business. But I don't necessarily expect that. Now, we've said this a lot of times on previous shows, that my mindset was always like when I flew, especially when I flew out of town to go to meetings. I didn't look at it like going out of town, going to a meeting and knocking it out of the ballpark, or, oh, go get him. It was, I'm going out of town to have a great dinner. And at the time I was drinking, to have a great dinner and great drinks. And I happen to be meeting this person. Whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
Worst case, I had a great dinner and I had great drinks. No expectations whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a really, really cool place to be. It may not happen overnight to a lot of people. I don't want to sit there and say, oh, I'm father time. But, I mean, these things don't, I hope they happen immediate. But for the most part, everybody evolves and everybody kind of moves at their own pace. And you can't fault somebody for moving slower than others, or there are people that move a lot faster than others. It doesn't really matter. But I think that all of us on that twisty, turny journey that we do in life, I think that the more wisdom you gain, the less you shed that proving yourself kind of bag of plaques and accolades that we all want to carry with us, because we want to make sure that we're widely accepted. You know what I mean? What are you doing today? And something that really bothered me, a mentor once told me after I did it. I'm this, I'm that. Did you read my thing? He says, you're only as good as your last day. I'm like, wow,
that's true.
Boy, was I mad. But, he basically told me, like, almost like, enjoy it, kid, because, this stuff doesn't last. If you're defining yourself by how many articles you're in, then you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You're missing the point.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's just about keeping, you were saying, I'm going to just go back about people growing and learning and being truthful. I think it's about being truthful to yourself first before you can really be truthful to others. But a lot of times people don't get to that point. A lot of times people just stay the way they are. They never learn, they never go out, and they never develop and evolve, which is fine. We all live our own lives, right? But possibly the most important time is now. So the most important time is now is having this conversation. And then the next minute will be important to have the next conversation. So it's about being truthful at this time, for me, being truthful at this time, but also just being present at this time. So being truthful as you can at this moment, because things change all the time, different things come into your life. You speak to different people and you change along the way, which is normal, that's what makes it beautiful. So
you evolve.
Yes, right? You evolve. So right now, this is the most truthful interaction for this moment.
Right. And you said something where you're talking about some people never, get to that point. Look, it's not that they don't want to. I gotta believe this. I mean, I'm making a blank statement, and it's probably going to aggravate some people, but I can't believe for the life of me that every single, there are people out there that are just like, no, I like my house and I don't want to evolve. And, there's just no way. But they're overcome with some type of fear. There
Yes.
are a lot of people that have tremendous, beautiful aspirations and dreams and hopes and desires. And I mean, burning desires too, which the kind I love, the best kind. But there are some people that need that nudge. So we all do different things. Yes. I'm a nudger. Did I grow up saying, you know what, I'm going to be a nudger? No, but you know, I got to believe that when you start getting feedback about, they don't want anything from you. They just want to tell you that, and here's a common one. I normally don't go on Facebook, but I did this one time, and you came up as people you may know. And for some reason, I clicked on it and I read your story, and you really inspired me.
Yes.
Is that a line? I mean, I'm not even reading into it, but it's just like, one, okay, two, okay. But you get this every day, and I'm just like a regular dude. I'm just a regular guy. And you get this kind of response every day. You got to believe that you're doing something important, something valuable.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And these people that you normally would think, oh, well, you know what, they're content, they're happy, they're comfortable being where they are. No, absolutely not. They needed a nudge. They needed a nudge. If that's all it is in life, it's that nudge.
Yes.
So I think that fear kind of stops people from wanting to go further because of the infinite amount of what ifs. And there are a lot of people that still really don't understand what they bring to the table. I mean, everybody has a different gift. Everybody has a different gift to present. And when you find people with complementary gifts in your life that you just stumble across with no preconceived notion of any outcome whatsoever, that's a cool thing. That's magic. That's not just cool. That's freaking magic. That's electric. So what did I say? What did we learn here? I have no idea, but hopefully it was something.
Yes, it was just something I thought about this morning. You know, you wake up in the morning with weird things in your head sometimes, and it's really early here, right? So
4 a.m. today you woke up, Carina.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's the best time of the morning because it's quiet and the night owls are out and whatever, and it's really cool. So that's truth. I just want to go back to the fear for a moment, and then the fear is a huge thing, and that's why we do these shows. But people need to, and a lot of times the fear is so big that you need someone to take you by the hand, right, and guide you through it. So you need to understand that as well. A lot of times, I mean, you do a lot of counseling now, right? Coaching. And I'm sure you take a lot of people through that fear, and then they just need to see a different perspective. And sometimes when you see that different perspective, it changes everything. So it's about being open to that as well. A lot of people don't want to see that because, again, they're afraid of what will come out of that as well. Just my thoughts.
Well, no, it's a good point. I'm going to kind of disagree a little bit with it because, and this just happened to me yesterday. So I go to a place, to a store, and I start talking to the guy, and he's like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, you know, I'm an author or whatever. And he started telling me about his son, who was addicted, heavily addicted. This is not an addiction show. I'm getting you a point, so take it easy. But he was telling me that they tried everything. They had a family intervention, and maybe the intervention wasn't powerful enough, but he didn't listen, and he lost his life to addiction, which is sad. And actually, it's tremendous strength that this man is telling me this story. You know, wounds that, in my opinion, never heal.
Right.
And he's talking about this with me very openly. I don't believe in interventions, and I'm going to tell you why. Because an intervention, the thought process to me is corralling somebody, basically trapping them.
Yeah.
Almost like you trap an animal before you shoot it or cage it, and shaming them.
Yes, yes.
With this, look in the mirror, that's what you look like. Do you like what you see? Not understanding that this person already knows what they look like. And this person already knows that they don't just feel like zero. They feel like less than zero. They feel like the lowest person imaginable. And here we have all the loved ones, whether you expect support or not, loved ones that are basically throwing stones at you while you're down. Doesn't work.
No.
Doesn't work. Okay. So by the same token, the people that I counsel now, and I use that term loosely because I'm not a licensed counselor.
Yes.
I'm me.
Yes. Yes,
You know,
I know that.
And I'm a former addict. I'm a recovering addict. I can say whatever the hell I want because I went through it. Okay. And unless you've gone through it, there are a lot of things about addiction that somebody cannot possibly understand. But let's go past addiction. Let's just talk about fear of moving forward, fear about starting a business venture, fear about speaking up or having a meeting or a big moment in your life. That fear that you're going to face is in your own time. I can't scare you straight. I can't say, hey, what are you afraid of? Come on, open up the business. You just do this, and then and it'll be successful. What are you waiting for? Isn't that the same thing as a recovery interaction?
Yes.
You're not going to understand what I'm saying, even though very clearly I can write a roadmap for you, A to B to C. If you do this, if you connect the dots the way I just showed you, and I'll write it down, money back guarantee, you will be successful. And but they won't see what I see. Yes. They won't see A to B to C. They'll see whatever they want to see. And they might see A, B to C in their own time.
Yes.
So my job isn't necessarily to push them and say, don't you see? My job is to talk about me in a way that is relatable, so that I'm not really talking about them. I'm talking about a real experience that I've gone through, and I've gone through enough of them where I could be remotely interesting in pretty much most subjects that I've faced so far. And they see it in their own time. That's my job.
Yes.
So let's not make a mistake here of like saying, well, my job is to motivate and inspire. And you're thinking right away, motivate and inspire, like scared straight. My job is just to leave that positive suggestion in somebody's mind that they're capable and that they're deserving of everything life has to offer. And that's a broad statement, but that covers addiction, that covers business, that covers relationships, that covers everything. And I'm not an expert on relationships, obviously, but I do know what love is supposed to feel like. And so I could talk about that with conviction as well.
Okay, I want to go back just 1 moment. Intervention.
Are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Can you see me? I'm here. Are you here? Dino?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just want to go back to the intervention story. That's not what I was saying. I don't believe in interventions either. I think they are terrible and they're scary for the person. And it just puts you back into that blame and shame cycle, which, my idea of addiction is, it's not just the person who's addicted. You've got to look at the family, because they're just showing the world what's really bad within the family. It's not one person, it's the whole family or the whole community or whatever it is that play
Who, by
a
the way,
part.
don't know any better. They don't know any better.
No. So,
and even the counselor, the professional counselor who's there with them, they should know better.
yes, of course they do.
Oh,
but for
sorry to
me,
interrupt, but I had
no,
to
that's
throw that
fine.
in there.
Yes, you're right. And for them, they think it's the right thing. I don't believe in it personally for myself. But what I'm saying is that it's once the addict or the person that's in fear or whatever, let's call him that, realizes that they've got that they have that fear and thinks, you know what, it's time, I need to get rid of this fear or transmute this fear or change the fear, whatever. That's when you can come in and say, okay, here's my hand, let's do this together. That's what I mean. But a very important thing for me as well that you mentioned was deservability. That's the biggest thing. You have to come to terms to realize that you deserve things in life. We taught, especially in a Catholic environment or whatever, you know what, don't deserve anything. You're supposed to give and give and give to the other person. The other person deserves more than you do. You don't. And you've got to get over those limiting beliefs as well and get to a point where you know that you do deserve, and then things change as well. Right?
No, absolutely. And I know what you're telling is a story from your background, where you've gone for so many years, and you've said this before, is you didn't believe, just from your family and your upbringing, they made you feel like you're not deserving of these things, or we can't define you as a person wholly unless you're defined by the man you're with.
Yes.
Which, again, I mean, when I say I deserve everything that life has to offer, I'm not saying just me. That's everything. That's a universal statement.
Yes.
Who believes it or not is different. I totally believe it. And because I believe it, that's half the battle.
Yes.
Because I believe it, what are you doing? You're doing this and you're doing that. Why don't you stick with one thing? Because I don't want to. You know what I mean? Everybody's got different hairstyles.
Exactly.
What, you're going to stick with the same one every day? You're going to wear the same style through the 70s? I mean, even though the 70s tried to make a comeback, people, but it didn't work. The bell bottoms are out forever. Thank God. But
some people love them.
I knew it. You're the one who likes bell bottoms. Of course, Carina. Why would you like bell bottoms? Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm a hippie at heart. Okay. That's why I'm in California.
No, but look, in your own time, they might say, even when they realize that they want to move forward in anything.
Yes.
They still won't come up and say, I'm ready. I want to move forward.
No, yes.
So what I learned, and this came from a mentor, is something that everybody hears. It's not a special term, but lead by example.
Yes.
In other words,
yes.
It doesn't necessarily matter to me who I'm grabbing at any particular time. What matters to me is just continuously moving forward. And almost always there's a wake that you cause, a ripple effect, where most things in your wake will start moving forward with you. Some won't. But you can't go back and be like, hey, this isn't the Marines, no man left behind kind of thing. Everybody's got their life to live. I mean, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. And I'm certainly not saying I'm special. I just have understood. It took me over 50 years to understand the gift that I have. Combined with my hardships, combined with my experiences in business and all that stuff, makes me an extremely dangerous person right now, because I get every ounce of my being right now. So clean and sober too. Yes. I get every ounce of my being, and I get finally what I'm supposed to be doing and why I'm supposed to be doing it. And it's okay to feel good, and it's okay to be enriched, and it's okay to be wealthy, and it's okay to have all the material successes if that's your gig. It's great to have all the attention, if that's your driving force, so long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is touching people's lives, which is the most important byproduct out of everything. It's not the money. It's not the thing. It's not the me. It's not the accolades. It's when you just step back and you just open your eyes and say, I was part of this. Not I was this, or look what I did. I was part of it in a small way. We all touch each other's lives. We just don't realize it.
Yes.
So, I mean, what started out, Carina, as a subject that, you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, am I a liar, or am I truth, or whatever, turned into a very interesting conversation, only because it means so much more than how we started it out, right?
Yes.
Which usually is what we do.
But that's why these conversations are so cool, because we can unpack it and just take them to where they need to go.
Oh, we unpack on this show. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good. So thank you, everybody. This was a lot of fun. And so what about you? What is your truth? And are you truthful to yourself? I think that's the biggest thing. You need to be truthful to yourself first. And then who knows where it goes from there. So thank you, everyone. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Dino. I love this.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon. Carina and Dino, Break Fear, Find Freedom. See ya soon.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, yes.
Bye.